right, when Mr. Quarters was discussing with the girls about the minds and the differences between animals and men, he mentioned two types of differences. One was a difference of degree. And what, Renee? Difference of kind. How do you explain those differences? What's the difference between a difference of degree and a difference of kind? What did he use to show the girls what he meant? Because they didn't understand. What did he use? As an example of what? Height and weight. What do the rest of them think about that? What type of difference is that? Height and weight. That's what Curtis says, difference of degree.
Well, like if one girl weighs 59 pounds and somebody else weighs 20, in between there is degree.
The difference of degree, but you use two what? Two people and their what?
Their weight.
And their weight. Two people and their weight as a difference of degree.
And that's a difference of kind.
Why is it a difference of kind?
Because
well, and one girl he was talking about, what did she weigh? 59 pounds, and the other one weighed 29 pounds. 29 pounds, right? So, can you see that he was saying in between 59 and 29, we're talking about the same two things, right?
Yeah.
Pounds, how much each girl weighs. Okay? And while pounds isn't different, the amount of pounds that they weigh is different, right? But is it totally different? It's just a difference of degree. One is larger than the other, or one is smaller than the other.
But here, she said the same thing, there was a difference in degree.
All right, well, read that.
Difference of kind.
Read that for me. Read that for me.
I have to spell it. Laurie is the heaviest, so they're both on strand and then are those differences of degree also? That's right.
Are they?
Yeah.
All right, well, when they were talking about heaviness, and when you weigh how heavy you are, you weigh that in what? Ounces and pounds, yes. They're all weighed in ounces and pounds. So that's a difference of
Height and weight.
difference, but how? Is it a difference of degree or difference of kind? All right, does everybody understand that? That when you're talking about comparing the weight, how about if we were comparing your height, Renee, to Kathy's height? Would that be a difference? Are you both the same? Stand up, let's see. Are you both the same height? Are they the same height? Well then, let's not use you then. How about Kathy and Patty? Now, what could you say about Kathy's height and Patty's height?
Difference of degree.
All right, it's a difference of degree. Because we're talking about the same thing, how tall they are.
Oh,
If they were the same size, it'd be different.
A difference of kind would be
Same.
different than like
Your height,
black
my
and
weight.
white, right?
No, I don't know. That's very interesting. Is black and white a difference of kind?
No, because they both colors.
Right, well,
But they different colors though.
yes, they're different colors, but are they a difference
Okay,
of...
I use another, like a chair and person.
A chair and a person shows a what?
Difference of kind.
A difference of kind, all right? They're totally different things, right? Any questions about the differences of degree and the difference of kind? All right, let's see if you had... Renee brought up a very interesting one, black and white. Do those show, is that a difference of degree or a difference of kind?
Difference of degree.
Why would you say it's a difference of degree?
Because they both colors.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing.
What do you mean it's the same thing?
The same, both on the colors.
Colors are the same. What about the rest of you? the difference between black and white the same as, say, the difference between dark green and light green?
Right.
What kind of a difference would dark green and light green be? A difference of degree. Well,
Because they're both green, but a different shades.
all right, they're both green, but a different shade. Well, then what about black and white?
And plus they're different shades, plus they both colors.
Yes, but they're both the same color, only different shades, right?
But they still colors.
Mm-hmm.
And two things that's alike is a degree.
Okay, so you're absolutely certain then that black and white are differences of degree. Okay. How about 9 apples compared with 9 alligators?
Difference of kind.
Why?
Because they're both different, completely different things.
All right, okay. How about dark red compared with light red?
Difference of degree.
Absolutely sure? Okay. How about freezing temperature compared to boiling temperature?
Difference of degree.
Damp compared to wet?
Different degree.
We're unanimous. I think I'll put this one on the board.
I don't know when you do notes.
This is called an acute angle. Took me a long time. And this is an obtuse angle. What would the difference between these two be?
Difference of kind.
You said a difference of kind. And everybody else seems to think it's a difference of degree. What do you think about that?
Difference of kind.
Why do you say it's a difference of kind?
Shape the same.
They aren't shaped the same way. Tell him. Do you understand what she's saying? They're shaped differently, but they're both angles. Let's take a... What would you say about these two figures? This is a triangle, and this is a rectangle.
Difference of degree.
All right, here, kind and degree.
Different of degree because they both shapes.
They're both shapes. What? They're both shapes, so that means they're a difference of degree. Those of you who said they're a difference of kind, why would you say they're differences of kind?
They're different shapes.
Huh?
They're different shapes. They're not
But they
different
both
shapes,
shapes,
but they're,
and them are different angles.
But the two
Yeah.
girls are both girls, only they're different.
So it's a difference of degree.
It can still be different as a kind. You could put either one anyway.
Why?
Because you could find different reasons for each one.
All right, well, why is this a difference of kind?
Because they're both different shapes. Just like those are different angles, so he has this reason for saying...
Well, then, are you saying that this could also be a difference of kind, too?
It could, if you get, it has smaller reasons, so it could be just like with smaller reasons for it. And then they could all equal a big reason is all being shapes.
All right, well, let's take the alligators and the apples, okay? Now, these are different angles, right? They're both angles, but they're different angles. What would you say about the alligators and the apples?
One's an animal, one's apple.
One's an animal and one's fruit.
One's an animal and one's a fruit. And we said that was a difference of kind, because they were totally different.
But if it was 9 alligators and 9 zebras, it'd be a difference of degree.
Why would it be a difference of degree if it was
They're
not?
both animals.
Because they're both animals, but they're both totally different animals.
But they
One's a
animals.
reptile,
Yeah.
one's an animal.
Right.
One's a
Right.
reptile and one's a mammal.
They still animals.
Difference of degree.
You say that it's a difference of degree. You say it's a difference of kind. So
I
what do you
said
get?
degree.
Oh, you say it's a difference of degree.
Which one?
And zebra and alligator.
Yeah, it's a difference of degree.
Even though they're both totally different animals,
They still animals.
are these totally different angles?
Yes,
Yes.
they still animals.
But are they totally different?
Yeah, they different.
Not totally, because both of them has a point.
Yeah, if I took this angle and put it over here, all I would have to do is move this line up to here to make, here's the acute angle in here, right? And if I just move this line up to here, I would make this angle, right?
Right.
They still angles.
Could I, yeah. if I were dealing with light red and dark red, if I started out with light red, I could just add maybe a darker color to it until I finally got dark red, right? What could I do to a zebra and an alligator so that I could get them together?
Make it fight.
But would one ever come close to being the other one?
Or you could get them both the same colors,
But would that still make them come close to each other in
or make
things?
them closer.
But does the zebra ever become the alligator, or the alligator ever become the
No.
zebra?
Difference
Just
of
like in
kind.
the book where they say something about jail and that. It's a difference of degree as far as that goes. And one of them can't turn into the other.
No, but what we weren't talking about the girls, were we? What were we talking
Oh,
about?
that's what they wait. See,
Their weights. Could one girl keep eating and eating and eating and become the same, the girl who weighs less? Could she become the same weight as another girl by eating or putting on weight? Or could one of the girls become the same weight by dieting and losing weight?
Yeah.
Could their weights become the same?
Yeah.
But they wouldn't become the same, no. So we're not talking about the two girls, we're talking about their heights or their weight.
Okay, well then if you use two people for a difference of degree.
Yeah, but what are you comparing? We're comparing two
That's
people,
what I
right?
do.
Okay.
Like you and her.
All right.
It's a difference of degree because, she's her and you.
But how is that a difference of degree?
Because
That's people.
We're both people, right?
they're both women. She's child.
Well, won't she ever become an adult? Could she ever become an adult like I am? So if we're comparing our ages, what would that be?
Difference of degree.
A difference of degree. All right, so in comparing our ages, that's a difference of degree. Now, what else would you like to compare?
Your height.
Still using this. And she can't change to you and you can't change to her. So it's still a difference of degree.
Well, if I can't change to her, when we said that we couldn't change the alligators to the zebras, we said that was a difference of what? Kind. Well, she can't change to me, I can't change to her.
Yeah, but don't say that, was it a difference of degree or kind between an alligator and a zebra?
Well, what is it?
A difference of degree, because they're both animals.
Yeah, but we didn't really come to that conclusion. Somebody said it was, other people said it was a difference of
But I'm trying
kind.
to use the example so we can know that it's a difference of degree.
What are you measuring with the alligator and the zebra?
That's a good question. What are we measuring when we say the alligator and the zebra? Who brought up the alligator and the zebra? Well, for that matter, what were we measuring when we said 9 apples with 9 alligators? Yeah, we were comparing the things, apples, with the things, alligators, fruit and alligators, right?
You can't, because there's so many properties of each of them.
That's a difference of kind, though.
Yeah, but if you're talking about what the water content in an apple, and the water content in a alligator, you'll get difference of degree. If you compare the form of an alligator and the form of an apple, you get difference of kind. Apple could never grow to look like an alligator.
All right, but in this one, I guess we were comparing, what they are, their physical properties, to apples and alligators, form. But what about Kathy and I?
Difference of degree. Difference of degree.
Joan and I. That's what you get for always sitting in a row. Joan and I. What about Joan and I?
Difference of degree.
Difference of degree.
Because she could get everything about her could, not everything, but parts of her could be coming to look like you. And then, then she could start, then it would be a difference of degree because she could become to look like you. She'll grow up to be a woman, and she has brown eyes now.
Her eyes already the same.
She may grow up to be the same height as you, maybe taller, but she will sometimes maybe be the same height.
But all of those differences between our heights and the difference between our ages and the difference between our weight and the difference between all of those are all differences of Degree?
Degree.
Does that make the thing that's Joan and the difference, and the thing that's me, is that difference, if all of the things about us is the difference of degree, does that make us, the difference between us, the difference of degree? Okay, you're absolutely sure about that? That's the way you feel? Okay. Well, let's go on to some other ones. How about dead things and living things?
Different of kind.
Why do you say that they're different of kind?
One's
Dead
dead.
ain't dead is. He's not functioning no more. He ain't considered nothing. So,
I think it's degree.
Why would you say, wait, we won't get a chance. Why would
A
you
live
say?
person can die.
And then person can't live. Well, he could have lived before that, but he can't live again. Well,
That's the difference of degree.
he can't be resurrected.
But somebody brought up the point that a dead person can't ever become a live person.
But a live person could become a dead person.
So it's a difference of
Degree.
degree, kind.
Degree.
okay.
Difference of degree.
Because it's different.
That's right.
Totally different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but there's still things though. Even though one might be dead and one might be alive, there's still things.
Because one,
Yes.
Well, we're not
One
just talking
died.
about persons. We're talking about a dead thing and a living thing. Okay?
You're not talking about
Both of them.
We don't have to be talking about
Both of them
persons.
things.
That's a single animal.
All right. So if we take an animal,
It's still considered not dead. Not circulating.
yeah. So you're saying that they're so different from living things, that dead animal is so different from a living animal that it's a difference of degree of kind. And you too? Nope. I heard a nope.
Degree because they both things.
Oh, degree.
Right.
Okay. Degree. Use degree. I still heard a no somewhere. David?
Oh, yeah, I said it was a degree. Because, like, it's just like the opposite animals. If you're cute, and wine, you become an art too. And a live person can die to become a dead person. And become the same thing.
So what's your opinion?
And they can become, change.
Do you really want to know what my opinion is? Why?
Well, no.
Well, my opinion, it's just my opinion. Your opinion is worth just as much as my opinion. I happen to think that there are differences of kind between dead things and living.
But like, say there are two dead rabbits and two live rabbits. The dead rabbits look like the live rabbits.
But all the things,
Dead or alive.
yeah,
They look the
there's
same.
still rabbits.
Dead or
Yes.
alive.
But a dead rabbit is such a totally different thing from a live rabbit.
He
This
was
is only
alive.
in my
He was alive. He was
That's all.
alive.
But they
Same
still
thing.
rabbits.
Okay, you're right. But they're totally different things. A dead rabbit can't do any of the things that a live rabbit can do. It doesn't have
Can't do anything that a dead rabbit.
right. So that's why I think it's a difference of
A
kind.
live rabbit can't kill himself to do a dead rabbit test.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he
It
said.
doesn't do anything. Wait, but once a live rabbit kills himself.
Kill himself? I don't know. I don't know whether he could be killed or die.
Well, he
I don't know
commits
that.
suicide, okay, something like that. Something like that. Drink too much water.
If a rabbit got hit
Well,
by
what-
a car
Go on.
and they said he was pronounced dead, how you know if he was dead or not?
Well, see that's my point. Is that if you just take one rabbit, all right? This rabbit that's hopping, let's all see this rabbit right here. I can really see it. There's a rabbit there. Let's take this rabbit that's right here and it's hopping around. No, it's white. It's hopping around. It's my rabbit. Okay? And it's hopping around and all of a sudden it dies. I think that the dead rabbit is so totally different from the living rabbit.
He was alive.
As to be, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, you didn't have a dead rabbit to start with.
You're right. I had a living rabbit.
But then there are two rabbits.
He gonna jump around, then he
No,
gonna
the
stretch
same
out.
rabbit died.
Wait, so you have to have a live rabbit, a dead rabbit, not a dead rabbit that
Put it
was
this way,
alive.
go around the clone. Go around the class, let's have a vote what you think it is.
Oh, then.
How many of you want to have a vote? All right. Edward, difference of degree or difference of kind? Degree, 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 4 degrees and 1 kind. 5 degrees and 1 kind. 5 degrees and 1 kind and 1 I don't know. I'm getting confused. 5, 1, and 1. 5 degrees, 2 kinds, 1 I don't know. 6 degrees, 2 kinds, and 1 I don't know. 7 degrees, 8 degrees, 9 degrees. 10 degrees.
I'm not gonna say anything. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything.
It's 10 degrees, 2 of a kind, I mean,
And 3
10
difference of kind,
degrees.
and 3 I don't know.
2 kinds, and 3 I don't know.
And on you now.
I know.
I said it. I did know.
You said
I was
kind.
one of the kinds. Okay?
I believe it would be degree. That's my opinion.
11 degrees. Okay, degrees 1.
I still got my opinion.
That's right. We both still have our opinions, okay?
Still, no, both y'all's wrong.
We might be.
Y'all, not us.
Oh, she by yourself.
Y'all.
All right, how about fish and apes? Difference of degree and difference of kind.
Kind.
Kind. We're all sure that they're kind. We're not going to have an argument about that one. All right. Apes and men.
Degree.
Because an ape will become a man as well.
A man will become an ape.
Man will become a
Man
man.
could have come from some sort of.
Man came from ape.
Uh-huh.
So it's a difference of ape.
Degree.
Anybody else?
I guess.
Degree?
Degree.
Well, what were you saying, David?
Everything's the same. Consider that everything used to be the same thing.
What do you mean everything used to be the
Everything
same?
used to be the same thing.
An ape is a mammal. A man, a person is a mammal.
Belt from one.
All right, well, what David is saying is that according to scientists in the beginning, all life came from one-celled animals.
Right.
All life, one-celled animals was the beginning of all life, and everything
Right.
evolved from that.
Right.
So, but what he's saying is that it's
But there's still those one-celled animals today.
yes,
So they can't all be together.
no apes. Are there apes and men today?
Yeah.
But you still think those are difference of degree?
That's right.
What David is saying, though, is that between all animals, then it's a difference of degree.
Right.
There's still man.
Does anybody want to say anything to David?
No, you're right.
But then if you think that he's right, you still think that the difference between, like, say, a zebra and an alligator is the difference of
I was the one who said that.
degree or kind.
Degree.
Oh, well then that's right. But you said it's the difference of kind. A zebra and an alligator. It makes you think, doesn't it? We all think that the difference between men and apes is the difference of degree, David, just because it was said that man evolved from apes. Right?
But now it do not.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I ain't see nothing.
What did you say?
Now it don't.
Now it doesn't what?
I ain't see that.
Man don't come from ape.
Yeah,
Man.
because how come you don't see men in the jungles?
That's right.
Big one from the little apes.
Well, if we say that man
He was
descended
created
from,
by apes.
you know, he came
Now
from
he-
apes, does that mean now we don't have to come from apes? We can come from
Right.
other human beings, right?
Right.
Yeah, but why can't apes still have people?
That's a good question.
The problem is that then apes and man were one thing, and the one thing was different from apes and different from men. Some
way back,
and
it's the same
some
thing.
had to live there and became us, and some lived in other places and didn't
just stayed on-
and developed into different. Didn't
Different
develop
what?
as much.
Oh, so what are they?
So I don't know, some ancient kind of ape, not the kind of ape we have today.
Then who or what? They stick to the apes that stay apes and the apes that stay people.
What he say?
Huh?
What's the statement which is the apes that are apes that stay
They
apes,
developed in a
and the
different
apes,
area.
and the apes that stay people? I mean,
I
that
still
became
ain't
people.
here.
You mean why did the apes?
Certain apes be apes, and certain apes become people.
That's a good question. Anybody know the answer? I'm sure. I guess that would be a good question for research. You know, as to why certain apes just stayed apes and certain
I saw a
became.
show on it. It was not what it was called.
Why you the only one seeing the show?
I forget what it was, and it was a show, and they just had man evolve. And in the end, some people died. Like the plane crash. That one. All the actors crashed up in the plane. This isn't the end. But anyway, they like there was one animal, and some of the animals like lived in the jungles, and some of the animals were given out no plain slip because they were expanded. And the ones that went out in the fields experimented more, and the other ones in the trees just sort of lopped around. And then after these guys had explored, they came back, and they could easily overtake the smaller ones because they had adventured. And once they dominated them, they got bigger and dominated and dominated. And just because what they did, they were out in the fields and they needed to invent more than the ones just living in the trees, moping around eating oranges.
Okay. All right. Well, we were talking about the differences of kind and differences of degree. Well, we're still talking about differences, right?
Right.
We were talking about the differences of kind and differences of degree. Well, we're still talking about differences, right?
Right.
I'd like to get into differences. Would you say that all of you are different?
No. Nope, the same.
You're all the same?
With difference of degree, because we're all people.
Well, then if we're all people, and you think that we're all the same, I guess you mean just in the fact that we're all people. But as individuals, are we different?
Yes, we think different.
All right. Well, that's what I want to get into now. About our differences. What is it that makes you, you? I guess in the same way we're talking about differences.
Between who and who?
You. What makes you you? Not whether, just thinking about you now. What makes you you? Your face, your clothes, your name, your mind, your thoughts. Your mind and your thoughts?
Right.
Not the others, your name, your face, your clothes.
All the make all
Your
that.
mind, there could be two people just alike, different minds, and they're completely different people.
You have different clothes.
You have different clothes? Could you have the same clothes?
No, I know this family that had twins and they look exactly alike, and the mother bought me two clothes, and then she had stopped after when they were 5 years old because the kindergarten teacher couldn't tell them apart.
Well, before they were 5 and they were wearing the same clothes, not only did they wear the same clothes, what else did they have that was the same?
Well, they looked exactly alike.
They looked alike?
And they had the kind of similar names.
But were they different?
One was Craig and one was Bob.
Well, what was it that made them different then?
Their names.
Just their names? Well, suppose my name, have you ever come across somebody else who's named Renee?
Yeah, but
Was she you?
No, but we had different minds and everything.
So
They had different ways.
What happens if they have different minds and have the same name? Are they the same thing?
Well,
Nope.
that's
Difference of
one
kind.
of the differences that one name was Craig and one name was
Well,
Bob.
if they both have the same minds, and one was named Greg and one was named... And they
Two people don't have the same mind.
Yeah, but you said before that the name makes you different from everybody else.
But your ways doesn't.
I ain't say exactly different. It made them different.
Yeah, but which
Their
one
two
makes...
names made them different.
Is your name you?
Not really part of you.
Is that what makes you you? If I change your name, or if you went to court and you changed your name, and you said you didn't want, would you? What would it then? What would it be then that would make you you? If you could change your name,
My mind, I guess.
your mind.
Yeah.
Somebody said personality. What do you mean by personality?
The way you act and you do things.
Is that the same, Willie, as when you said your ways? Do you think that that's the same as personality, your ways? Or a part of it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to ask you some questions. If for some reason you couldn't use your arm, would you still be you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because whenever something goes wrong on your arm or your finger gets bent back so it hurts a lot and you have to get it put in a splinter or anything, you don't stop thinking the same way. And sometimes it makes you feel sorry for yourself because you can't do something, but you never really think different. If I came here today and I had a broken arm, I probably would still say the same thing.
What were you saying, Kathy?
Like if you lost your right arm and you were right-handed, even though you'd have to learn with your left hand, you would still you. Even though you change your ways.
Okay. If for some reason you couldn't use your mind, would you still be you?
He's dead.
If you couldn't use your mind, you'd be dead?
You wouldn't be able to do anything. Nothing. Couldn't breathe.
You're talking about your brain.
Your mind is
Your mind is your mind can tell your mind is your thoughts.
and it can tell you. But if you
Did you ever have enough to breathe? Did you ever have a dream where you didn't, did you ever have a night where you didn't breathe? No. Well, I did, and I did.
Well, I guess when they say that if you couldn't use your mind, if you couldn't think, or if you couldn't have your own imagination, or your own wishing, or your own ideas, would you still be you? If you couldn't have these thoughts and you couldn't do these things, your thoughts or your ways, as you say.
No.
Why wouldn't you be you?
No, because you couldn't distinguish yourself from everybody else. You just sit there and just think, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know.
All right, what were you going to say, Joe?
If you had all everybody else's ideas and everything.
No, not if you had anybody else's ideas, just that you couldn't use your own mind.
He's done. Could you have any kind of idea how many ounces do you bring?
Do I have any ideas? Not right off the hand. You can get that information, huh?
I went to the doctor the other day. He told me my brain weighed 8 pounds.
Your brain?
8 ounces.
8 ounces.
7.5.
Okay. Are you the same person you were yesterday?
Yes.
All of you?
No.
Why did you say no?
Well, like if you learned something, or had an experience or something, that would change you a little.
It would change you a little, but would it make you, it would still, are you still you?
You'd still be you, only not the way you were,
Not the way you were,
but you.
You can't.
but you.
Yes.
You still you though.
But would you be the same person?
Yeah.
You'd still be the same person if you had a new experience or learned something new?
You couldn't use your mind at all.
But would,
Still couldn't breathe.
yeah,
Your
well,
mind tells you what to do. Everything.
Avoid the brainwash.
Just not your thoughts. Imagination tells you what you're seeing, what to do because of what you see. If you see you're driving and you see a car coming right at you, your mind tells you to swerve. And so your mind tells you to breathe too. So if you can't breathe, you can't eat. You don't know when you're hungry.
but are you still you?
No.
Okay. Well, assuming that you can use your mind and you can do all of these things, are you the same person that you were yesterday?
Red 10.
Oh, sure.
Everybody but David, right? David's different. Are you the same person you were last year?
Yes.
Now you're the exact same person? Why do you say no? Does that make you different? When you say the inside, what do you mean by the inside?
personality is still the same.
Are you the same person you were 10 years ago?
No.
No.
You're the same person you were yesterday and the same person you were last year, but you're not the same person you were 10 years ago? You say no. Why do you say no, Willie?
Because you don't react the same.
When
10
you
years
say,
ago, you could have been a little Christian boy.
yeah.
Now you still.
All right. So that those two are different
Right.
things. All right. You said that you the same.
I'm still Renee. I'm gonna stay Renee my whole life.
Are you the same Renee now that you were 10 years ago?
Yeah. Except for as far as my mind goes and everything, but I'm still Renee.
Well, yes, you're still Renee, but if your mind has changed and everything like that you said, are you the same person?
Yeah. I'm still Renee. I'm still the same person.
You're still the same name, right?
I'm still me. I was me 10 years ago.
Yes, you were you 10 years ago, but are you the same you now that you were 10 years ago?
Oh, no.
Or what made you change?
Because I'm smarter than I was 10 years ago.
Anything else?
I developed more than I was 10 years ago.
Anything else? What about the rest of you? And does that make you different, the fact that you were 2 years old 10 years ago and 12 now? How does that make you different?
You didn't know as much. You just
James. Go on, I'm sorry. But why are you different now than 10 years ago, besides your age? I'm talking about... Because you didn't know that much?
No, you might didn't have like many experiences or anything like that.
Anyone else?
Yeah, like Michael said, that the same from yesterday to today wouldn't make much difference because like you learn here and there little things, but after 10 years, all of those would add up. So, you know, most of what you know about is either you gain more knowledge or you've gotten a different opinion because you know more about it. Like sometimes you say, no, I agree with this. And then you gain more knowledge about the subject. And 10 years later, by the time you know, you go, definitely, yeah, that's right. You know, because you realize then you probably will, let's say it's a big political decision. You could, run America bankrupt with that decision. Now you realize what you want to do. You say, no.
All right, so you're different.
Yeah,
You've changed your opinions. When you change your opinions, that makes you a different person.
Oh. Different. In what way? The way your personality? Well,
that's what I'm asking you?
Well, no idea. When you had a whole bunch of knowledge that makes you different than you were, and then you only add up a little bit. I mean, does it matter whether you add up a lot or a little?
I think what David is saying is if you get a little bit of knowledge, David was saying that if you get a lot of knowledge, it changes your ideas, it changes the way you look at things sometimes. Does it always change the way you look at things? But sometimes it could change the way you look at things. Michael is saying, if you get, what's the difference between a little bit of knowledge and a lot of knowledge? Can't you change from just a little bit of knowledge that you could gain maybe in one day? Could you change your opinion in one day? David doesn't think it's possible.
On one subject, yeah. But not most, you can't change yourself almost completely.
Okay. When you're very old, will you be the same person that you are now?
No. You'll be the same person, but
You just have more what?
When you get old, you don't look the same like you did before.
you be walking down the street hunchback.
Does that make you a different person because you look different?
It doesn't really make you different. It's the,
It makes your looks different, yes. But what about the person that you are? Does that make you?
You can have the same. You can still have the same mind.
Now, if you really take care of yourself, you'll probably
yourself in good shape.
You get, you look a little bit different, but if you take care of yourself, your pounds still pass for young.
Yeah, but would you still be the same person?
Yes. Still be James Christian.
Would he still be the same James Christian? Well, you might, most of us say the same name like all our lives, right? But does that mean you stay the same person just because your name stays the same? Always? You never
You
change?
just don't know as much as you did when you was younger, but you still the same person. You can't change it. I can't change it to her.
No, absolutely. But are you still the same Renee?
Right.
Yeah.
The same Renee?
See,
All your life?
as you get bigger and bigger, you could get little. Like, as you get bigger and bigger, you are getting older. Right?
But when we were talking before, you were talking about your ways and your personality and your minds and your thoughts. Do your ways and your personalities and your minds, what is you?
A person. It don't change the person. It might change the knowledge of the person, but it don't change the person itself.
And everything.
Well, what do you think of as the person? Before you told me that it was your mind, your thoughts. Can your thoughts change? Can your personality change?
Yeah, that can change.
But you don't change?
No, I'm still the same person.
Okay, all right.
10 o'clock.
I want to put this away for now, okay? No, I told you. It's not 10 o'clock. I got you. I wanted to ask you some questions, and I wanted, you to just tell me how you feel about what you've done for the last 3 weeks, and how you think it's affected you, how you feel about it, whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it, yeah, your experience of being here for the last 3 weeks.
It was nice to me.
What about it was nice to you?
The group session.
What did you like? You liked talking like this? Anybody else? How did you feel about it? Do you think that this did anything for you?
Yeah, because some of the things that we were talking about, it's not that I didn't know, but I didn't have a definite answer to.
Now you do have some definite answers? Okay. What about the rest of you? How do you feel that this is, what has this done for you coming here in the morning? What?
It made me think better. Usually I like to play around.
Huh?
I like to play.
Yes.
It
And
made me think. Now when I get back, I don't know how to play.
you're going to stop playing?
I don't know.
What about the rest of you?
Bored all day.
We learn how to conversate better.
Anyone else?
Well, it's your last day here?
Yes.
One you asked me another question.
Do you think the fact that I'm asking these questions is just because I'm the last day? I guess it is, because this is my last day here.
But I know what you're trying to find out. You want to find out how much we done learned.
How much you think you've learned?
I think I learned. Everybody think they learned. To let you know, right?
Yes.
This is your last day.
Yes.
I learned a lot.
She learned a lot. All right, Dana said she learned a lot. You thought it was fun? I'm glad. Anybody else?
Yeah, it was a really good point.
Yes?
Hate to see you go.
Well, sometimes.
I was looking at Shorty. I'm sorry. Go on.
Sometimes it gets a little bit boring.
What about it makes it boring?
Well, like sometimes like something would drag out a little bit. Hard to.
You have to know.
Were arguments boring to you?
Kind of situations,
No.
Oh, for you they were boring.
No. Only like some subjects that we did were boring.
You didn't like the arguments?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Friday night.
You could argue all day long? Well, I want to ask you another question now.
Terry said sad because you leave.
I am too, in a way, and in a way I'm not, because I need a rest. Yeah.
I'm tired
Well,
of
we don't have to come back to
early in the morning.
we don't have to come,
Exactly.
we don't have to come back until Monday, right?
Yeah. I want to ask you one more question, okay? What do you think, suppose this group, all of us, we met every day like this for a year. What did you think about that?
It'd be nice. I think it'd be nice when we could do work.
Well, wait. If we could start a little bit later, hey, that would be
Right,
great.
not 9 o'clock.
Yeah, okay. Well, what do you think, how do you think that you would change if we did this for a year? How do you think it would affect you? What would happen?
Change a lot.
Can I, one at a time, because I can't hear all of you saying things. How would it change?
Change a lot. Because, if we was meeting for a year, right, then maybe, we probably wouldn't have no discussions. We'd be doing some work. And that'd be good.
Isn't you gonna watch that before you leave?
Do you think that this is not work? Discussion?
Spare ribs.
If we stay here.
It's doing good, right, because, like, a lot of, some people do know some of the things, it was really good. Do some work.
Right? It's a bowl of our knowledge. It's for some of the people. Some people that don't know the things that are doing, or the things that we might do. I know everybody don't know everything.
Yeah.
And then once we do that, then everybody,
What would it do? You're talking about knowledge. What do you think would happen between you?
Well, it builds up my knowledge.
But I mean, say between you and Kathy, or you and Sheila. Do you think that that's a good thing, getting to know each other better?
Yeah.
Why?
Because then you won't have to be all suspicious about them.
Dan and Melissa, what were you saying?
When you know people better, it's easier for you to, get along better with other people that you don't know anymore.
Dana?
It's good to know that you have more friends and all that. Nice to know that you have more friends.
What knowledge do you think that it would increase your knowledge about yourself, about you? You're just smiling over here, Patty. What are you smiling?
Ain't no difference.
What? Willie? What were you saying? What did you say? I want to tell you that I really did enjoy these mornings. I really did. I like talking to you. I didn't like getting up early, but I did like talking to you.
This was our summer vacation.
It's my summer vacation too. I didn't get up early. But I think it did some good.
Well, you gotta get up those for 3 more weeks.
Isn't that terrible? Mrs. Iceland?
And I hope you will.
We've been doing that.
I'm not as young and pretty as Mrs. Dawson, but I'll be
She's not as pretty.
very upset
That's
when
for
you don't
sure.
come out just because she's not here.
I would really like for you to come, because I think that we've had a good time, because I'm one person, but I think you can have a good time with Mrs. Iceland too, because she's really a good old lady.
We're very good friends.
We're good friends.
So I allow her to say things like that about me.
And she's helped me a great deal. When I first started teaching, she teaches in the school where I teach at. She's been teaching for many, many years.
What school?
When I started, I teach at Morton Street School in Newark. And she was there. I teach the 6th grade now. But she helped me a great deal.
What grade you teach?
First grade.
You have to have a lot of patience with little kids. I can't especially in preschool. They so fast.
You don't have to have any patience with big kids?
No.
That's interesting.
That is really interesting. Let me go into that a little longer, but...
It's 10 o'clock, but
All right, you can go. See you on Monday. Read chapter 8. I don't know, Bob. Are they, wait a minute, boys, are they going to be here? Yes, come on here. Okay, have a good time. Okay, wait a minute, would any of you like to see it from the back? Would you like to see the circles?
Is there a glass?
No, wait,